that the fundamental nature of our closings will change, period. And basically what that is that the final settlement statement, like right now in your settlement statements, you probably remember the buckets. There's a bucket variances of bank fees cannot be off by $1. It's a 0% tolerance. Third-party fees, appraisal surveys, title fees, they can't be off by more than 10% bucket. Taxes and insurance and all that stuff can vary 100%. There is no holding the bank accountable to it. Well, now, come mid-year, August timeframe, the final settlement statement must be completely approved 3 days prior to closing. If a single dollar changes in any area, like you forgot to put on there was an inspection fee we forgot to add, or we're gonna have to do a lender credit because something happened, or the seller didn't clean up the house, and so the only way to fix it is I want to throw another $300 realtor credit towards it to settle everyone down. Anything that changes the final settlement statement at all, breaks have to be stopped. You must wait 3 days, period, end of story. Okay? So what's going to happen is, how does that affect you and your buyers? Well, obviously, missed closing dates. You'll see worse missed closing dates second half of the year than you've seen in recent history. Think about if you're a seller of an FHA home, right? The difference of payoff is 30 days interest, period, regardless of the day of the month you close. So if the lender misses a end of the month closing date and it rolls into the first week of the next month, well, your seller just got hosed by an extra 30 days of interest because the lender was off by $100, or how come we forgot to add their $50 fee, or whatever that was. Okay, so you're gonna have to start planning better as far as closing dates, and you're gonna have to control your lender more than ever before. I hate to say it, but control the lender as far as real time frames that are going to be accomplished. Right. I would just say that the average closing time frames can go longer. Other things that happen are lock extension fees. Right. So let's just say that something was added because the builder wanted to add something, the realtor forgot something, or title company forgot something, aside of whatever the lender could have screwed up. Well, now the closing date must wait another 3 or 4 days, and that breaks the lock. Well, now you've got to add in an additional lock extension fee. So you can see where it's kind of catalyst and it creates a big problem, right? As far as what we're going to do differently as my team goes, just for your knowledge, because you guys all work with us a lot, is our internal goal as a team is by April 1, we'll already be there. So at least 2 days in advance, but our goal is we want all of our HUDs to be approved 3 days in advance, effective April 1st. We want to have 90 days of practice so that we don't skip miss a beat for you guys, okay? So that if you start seeing approval letters from somebody else that you question the ability for them to actually fulfill their obligation, you have a stronger way to refer over to us, knowing that we've already been practicing. And what we typically see in our industry is fire, ready, set. That's typically what happens. Our industry typically is very reactive, not proactive. Mm-hmm. And so I think that you'll start to figure out which ones are way behind the 8 ball come May, June, July. And then you can start to control your clients a little better for your advantage. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're lucky if they get the HUD there the day you're closing.
Exactly right. There will be no more instructions the day of closing. So the good thing, if you're going to give positives, the thought behind it is a good one, right? The thought behind it is that we want to, as an industry, give the buyer the ability to review their final settlement statement before they sign it online, as opposed to the first time they see it's when they show up at closing. So the thought is great, right? The reality is that our industry's been so broken so long that the implementation is going to take a lot of growing pains. Does that make kind of sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. So